Ladies, let me ask you something that might hit close to home. Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, wondering if the younger man in your life is genuinely in love with you? Or are you just another chapter in his story before he finds someone more appropriate for his age? I know that feeling. The constant questioning, the overthinking, the fear that maybe society is right about age gap relationships. But what if I told you that when a man is truly, deeply, madly in love with an older woman, he shows specific, unmistakable signs that most people completely miss? Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 scientifically backed signs that prove a man is genuinely deeply in love with an older woman. And trust me, these aren't the obvious things you might expect. These signs are backed by research from institutions like the Kinsey Institute and the University of California, Davis, and relationship experts like Dr. John Gottman. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to stop second-guessing yourself and start recognizing real love when you see it. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because I share psychology-backed relationship advice every week that you won't want to miss. And if this video helps you gain clarity about your relationship, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me reach more people who need to hear this message. Now, let's get into it. Before I reveal these 5 powerful signs, I need you to understand why recognizing them is absolutely crucial for your happiness and peace of mind. Here's what happens when you don't know these signs. You end up trapped in a cycle of doubt. You start questioning every gesture, every word, and every moment of affection. You wonder if he's just having fun, if you're a temporary distraction, or worse, if he's secretly embarrassed by the age difference. And you know what that leads to? Emotional distance, self-sabotage. You might even push away someone who genuinely loves you because you can't recognize the real signs of his deep affection. But here's what's really fascinating. And this is backed by research published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships. Age gap couples, especially where the woman is older, face unique social pressures. And guess what that means for how men express their love? They often show their deepest feelings in more subtle, but incredibly meaningful ways. If you're waiting for grand public declarations or movie-style romance, you might completely miss the profound love that's happening right in front of you. Dr. Justin Lee Miller from the Kinsey Institute found that people in socially challenging relationships actually develop stronger emotional bonds precisely because they have to be more intentional about their connection. So when I show you these signs today, I want you to pay attention not just to what they are, but to how they reveal a love that's actually deeper and more committed than many traditional relationships. Are you ready? Let's dive into the first sign. Sign number 1. He prioritizes you above social expectations. The first unmistakable sign that a man is deeply, madly in love with an older woman is this. He prioritizes you above social expectations, and he does it consistently, publicly, and without hesitation. Now, let's be real for a second. We all know that society has opinions about age gap relationships, especially when the woman is older. There are whispers, assumptions, and sometimes even direct comments. But here's what love does. It makes people brave. When a man is truly in love with you, he stops caring about what other people think, because his connection with you matters more than their approval. But this isn't just about ignoring criticism. It's about active prioritization. Here's what this looks like in real life. He introduces you to his friends, family, and colleagues without hesitation or awkward explanations. He doesn't mumble your name or avoid the topic of how you met. He's proud to have you by his side. He takes you to public events, work functions, and social gatherings. He's not suggesting you stay home or meet separately. He wants you there with him. He stands up for you when someone makes an inappropriate comment about your age difference. He doesn't laugh it off or ignore it. He actively defends your relationship. But here's the deeper psychology behind this. According to research from the University of Rochester, People who consistently choose their partner over social approval demonstrate what psychologists call intrinsic motivation, meaning their love comes from genuine internal connection, not external validation. I want you to think about your own relationship right now. Does he include you in his social world? Does he talk about you positively to others? When you're together in public, does he act proud or protective of what you have together? Because if he's choosing you over convenience, over social ease, over what might be the expected choice, that's not casual dating. That's deep, committed love. But there's something even more telling than public displays, and it leads us to our second sign. Sign number 2. He's deeply curious about your life experience. The second powerful sign is something that many women completely overlook, but it's absolutely crucial. He's deeply, genuinely curious about your life experience, not just your present, but your entire journey. Now, this goes way beyond small talk or polite interest. When a man is madly in love with an older woman, he becomes fascinated by the depth of who you are and how you became that person. Here's what this curiosity looks like. He asks meaningful questions about your past. Not just what was your childhood like, but what moment in your 20s taught you the most about yourself, or what decision are you most proud of making? He wants to understand your career journey, your challenges, and your victories. He's genuinely interested in how you built your life, what obstacles you overcame, and what wisdom you gained along the way. He remembers the stories you tell him and references them later. This isn't just active listening, this is integration. He's weaving your experiences into his understanding of who you are. But here's why this matters so much psychologically. According to Match.com's Singles in America survey, 81% of men said they find confidence and life experience in a partner extremely attractive. But when attraction turns into love, that appreciation becomes fascination. Dr. Helen Fisher, a biological anthropologist who studies love and relationships, explains that when we're deeply in love, we become obsessed with learning everything about our partner. But with age gap relationships where the woman is older, this takes on a special dimension. He's not just curious about you. He's curious about the wisdom you've gained, the perspective you've developed, and the lessons you've learned. This is a man who values you not just for how you make him feel right now, but for the incredible woman you've become through your life experiences. Think about your conversations with him. Does he ask follow-up questions? Does he want to understand not just what happened to you, but how it shaped you? Does he seek your advice on important decisions because he values your perspective? Because this kind of deep curiosity isn't something men fake. You can't pretend to be fascinated by someone's life story. This level of interest comes from genuine love and respect for who you are as a complete person. And speaking of respect for who you are, that brings us to our third sign, which is all about how he sees your future together. Sign number 3. He makes long-term plans that involve you. The third unmistakable sign that a man is deeply in love with an older woman is this. His plans for the future consistently, naturally include you. Now, I want you to pay attention to the subtle language shift that happens when a man moves from casual dating to deep love, because this is where you'll see it most clearly. Casual dating is about next weekend's plans. Love is about next year's dreams. When a man is truly, madly in love with you, something fundamental changes in how he talks about time and future possibilities. Here's what to listen for. He starts using we language without even thinking about it. Instead of, I'm thinking about taking a vacation, it becomes, we should plan a trip somewhere beautiful. Instead of, I want to learn to cook, it becomes, we should take that cooking class together. His major life decisions start including you. He's not just thinking about his career moves, his living situation, or his major purchases in isolation. He's considering how these choices affect both of you. He talks about experiences he wants to share with you in the future. When we retire, I'd love to travel through Europe with you. If we ever get a place together, I'd want a big kitchen so we can cook together. I can't wait to introduce you to my college friends when they visit next year. But here's the fascinating psychology behind this. Research from the University of California, Davis, found that couples who naturally use collective pronouns like we, us, and our when discussing their relationship experience significantly higher satisfaction and longer-term commitment. When his brain starts automatically including you in his future thinking, that's not a conscious choice. That's love rewiring his mental landscape. He literally cannot imagine his future without you in it. Dr. Arthur Aaron, who studies the psychology of relationships, explains that when we're deeply in love, we experience what he calls self-expansion. Our sense of self literally expands to include our partner. Their future becomes our future. But I want you to pay attention to something important here. This isn't about him making promises or commitments he might not keep. This is about the natural, unconscious way he thinks and speaks about tomorrow, next month, and next year. Listen to how he talks about his plans. Does he automatically factor you in? When he dreams out loud about experiences he wants to have, are you naturally part of that picture? When he's making decisions about his life, does he consider how they'll affect you? Because this kind of integrated future thinking isn't something you can fake or force. It comes from a deep emotional integration where your happiness and presence have become essential to his vision of a good life. And that emotional integration shows up in another powerful way, which brings us to our fourth sign. Sign 4. He learns from you and applies it. The fourth sign that a man is deeply, madly in love with an older woman is both subtle and incredibly powerful. He doesn't just listen to you, he learns from you, and more importantly, he applies what he learns. Now, this goes far beyond just being a good listener or nodding along when you share your thoughts. When a man is truly in love with you, you become one of his most trusted advisors, and he actively changes his life based on your wisdom and perspective. Here's what this looks like in practice. He applies your life lessons to his own challenges. When you share a story about how you handled a difficult situation, he doesn't just find it interesting, he uses that insight when he faces something similar. He changes his behavior based on your gentle guidance. Maybe you've helped him see a healthier way to handle stress, or a more effective approach to a work conflict, or a better way to communicate with his family. And he actually implements these changes. He seeks your input before making important decisions. Not because he can't decide for himself, but because he values your perspective and wants to make choices you both can feel good about. He openly credits you for positive changes in his life. He doesn't take all the credit when he grows or improves. He acknowledges how your influence has helped him become better. But here's why this is such a profound sign of love. Dr. John Gottman, who has studied relationships for over 40 years, identified something he calls accepting influence as one of the strongest predictors of relationship success and genuine love. When someone truly loves you, they don't just want to be around you. They want to become a better person because of you. Your wisdom, your perspective, and your way of seeing the world become something they treasure and integrate into their own growth. This is especially significant in age-gap relationships where the woman is older, because it shows he genuinely values and respects the wisdom that comes with your life experience. He's not just attracted to you despite the age difference. He's attracted to you partly because of the depth and insight you bring to his life. Think about your own relationship for a moment. Has he changed in positive ways since being with you? Does he ask for your advice on things that matter to him? When he faces challenges, Does he consider what you might do in his situation? And here's the beautiful thing about this sign. It creates a positive cycle. The more he learns from you and grows, the more he appreciates what you bring to his life. The more he appreciates you, the deeper his love becomes. This kind of mutual influence and growth is the foundation of truly lasting love. But there's one more sign that might be the most important of all, sign number 5. He shows up consistently, especially when it's inconvenient. The fifth and perhaps most telling sign that a man is deeply, madly in love with an older woman is this. He shows up for you consistently, especially when it's difficult, inconvenient, or challenging. Anyone can be sweet when it's easy. Anyone can be romantic when everything is going well. But real love, deep, committed, lasting love, shows up when it's hard. When a man is truly in love with you, you'll notice something remarkable about his consistency. He's there when you're sick, even if it means rearranging his schedule or leaving work early. He doesn't just send a feel-better text. He shows up with soup, medicine, or just his presence. He supports you through family problems or personal challenges without being asked. When you're dealing with difficult situations, he doesn't wait for an invitation to help. He's already there. He makes time for you even when his life is chaotic. Busy at work, he still calls. Exhausted after a long day, he still wants to see you, even if it's just for 15 minutes. He prioritizes your needs during your tough moments, even when it's not convenient for him. If you're having a bad day, he'll drive across town just to give you a hug. If you need to talk through something, he'll stay up late listening. But here's what makes this so significant. Research from the University of Oxford found that people who consistently show up for their partner during stressful or inconvenient times build trust levels that are 30% higher than those who only engage during good moments. Dr. Sue Johnson, who developed emotionally focused therapy, explains that true emotional safety in a relationship comes from knowing your partner will be there when you need them most, not just when it's easy or fun. This is especially important in age-gap relationships, because consistency over time proves that his feelings aren't based on novelty or excitement. They're based on genuine care and commitment. Think about the challenging moments you've experienced since being with him. Was he there? Did he show up physically, emotionally, or both? When life got complicated, did he step closer or step back? Because here's the truth. When a man is deeply in love with you, age becomes completely irrelevant in moments of crisis or need. All that matters is that you need him, and he wants to be there for you. This kind of consistent support doesn't come from casual feelings or temporary attraction. It comes from love that has grown deep roots. And when you have someone who shows up for you consistently, especially during life's inevitable challenges, you have something precious and rare. So there you have it, the 5 scientifically backed, psychologically proven signs that a man is deeply, truly, madly in love with an older woman. Let me recap these powerful indicators one more time. Sign number 1. He prioritizes you above social expectations, choosing you consistently over convenience or social approval. Sign number 2. He's deeply curious about your life experience, fascinated by your journey and wisdom, not just your present. Sign number 3. He makes long-term plans that involve you. His future thinking naturally includes you without hesitation. Sign number 4. He learns from you and applies it. Your influence helps him grow, and he appreciates and credits that growth. Sign number 5. He shows up consistently, especially when it's inconvenient, proving his love through actions when it matters most. If you're seeing these signs in your relationship, I want you to do something important. Stop doubting. Stop overthinking. Stop letting society's opinions overshadow what you can clearly see with your own eyes. Real love doesn't follow society's rules or timelines or expectations. Real love follows connection, compatibility, and genuine care between two people who choose each other every day. If you have a man in your life who shows these signs, You have something beautiful and worth celebrating. Don't let fear or doubt rob you of the joy and security you deserve. Now I want to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me, which of these signs resonated most with your experience? Or maybe you've noticed other signs that show deep love in your age gap relationship. Your stories not only help me create better content, but they also encourage other women who might be struggling with the same doubts and questions you once had. If this video helped you gain clarity and confidence in your relationship, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me reach more women who need to hear this message. And if you want more psychology-backed relationship advice, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I post new videos every week covering everything from building confidence in relationships to understanding the deeper psychology of love and attraction. Remember, love is love, regardless of age, regardless of what anyone else thinks, and regardless of society's expectations. If you found genuine connection, deep compatibility, and consistent care with someone, that's something to be grateful for and proud of. Trust what you see, trust what you feel, and most importantly, trust yourself to recognize real love when it's right in front of you. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep believing in the power of authentic connection.